what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. So we're back with another full self-driving video, and last night we got version 13.2.2, and today is Sunday, December 22nd, 2024. This morning I put out a first impressions drive on my Yorktown Beach test route, but I wanted to go ahead and film another random destinations video. So I had done this on version 12.5, and I thought it was pretty fun, so we're going to do it again using the Lucky feature. And we're going to talk quite a bit about version 13 as we drive around, because I've been using it a lot today, and I've got quite a few things I want to talk about. So let's go ahead and pick one. We're going to pick Sandy Bottom Nature Park. It's about a couple miles away. It's a little bit further than I want to go. Let's see if we can find one a little bit closer. I want to keep this video relatively short. Here we go. Let's see. This is about 4 minutes away. Let's give that a shot. So we're going to use the new button. You just start FSD, press and hold, and we're pulled forward into a spot right now, so the car is going to have to back out. And so far my experience with this has been, it does a great job with it. So like I said, I've been driving around pretty much all day long. I've had the camera on all day, so I'm working on another video. It's going to be the good, the bad, and the ugly of version 13. There's a lot of good. Like that was good. It saw him before I saw him because the sun's glaring in my eyes. There's a lot of good, there's some bad, and there's some ugly. So we're going to talk about all that in a separate video, but as we go, I may point out some of that stuff if we encounter it. So the first thing we're doing as we come through this parking lot, looks like we're going to navigate our way to the other exit where there's a stoplight. That's actually a pretty good judgment call. However, I was kind of hoping it was going to turn right and have to go make a U-turn, because U-turns have been really good. They are buttery smooth on this version, way better than they were on version 12. So let's see how it handles this. It kind of needs to like swing out and get behind this van. Either that or it needs to leave a gap like it's doing, so that way the right turn lane right there doesn't get blocked. So it's kind of making that swing I was talking about a second ago. And looks like our light is green, so we should be following this van out of here. That was very nicely done. So the first thing I'll talk about, well, let's go ahead and talk about this yellow light. So version 12, especially recent builds, would have freaked out over that yellow light and that red light. It would have slammed the brakes. It might have stopped. It might have went. It probably would have ended up going through there after having a lot of hesitation. Handling of yellow lights drastically improved. Also, handling of parking lots drastically improved. I don't know if you could notice while we were going through that Harris Teeter parking lot just how smooth the steering wheel was, but it handled that really well. And version 12 didn't do terrible in parking lots by any means, but it just didn't feel as good. There would have been a lot of jerking in the wheel. It probably would have gotten us to the same result, just not as smoothly, and I've talked about that before. If you want people to feel comfortable using it, you can't have all that crazy movement in the steering wheel. It's got to be smooth, got to be comfortable to ride in. And that's probably one of the biggest improvements that I've seen with version 13 is just how smooth everything is. Now, on my first impressions video, I was absolutely blown away by it, and I still am absolutely blown away by it. But with all the other driving I've done today, I have picked up on some quirks. And like I said, I'm not going to talk about all of them here because I want to do that in that good, bad, and ugly video. But anything that we do encounter during this video, I'll make sure to talk about it. But so far, everything is going well. We've made it to this intersection. I haven't had to do anything yet. It did a good job negotiating its way out of that parking lot, even though the exit was a little bit weird, how it had to leave room for that other lane. And so everything's off to a good start. We are about a half a mile from the first destination that we picked. So that really wasn't all that long of a drive, and I've never been to this place before, but one of the things I want to look for is, will the car park itself when we get there? So I have, my experience has been pretty similar to everybody else's with the whole parking situation. It's been a mixed bag for me. Sometimes it will, well, it parks every single time. It's just whether or not it parks in a spot or not. So let's see here, Monday through Friday. I'm looking at this no left turn sign. This is a legal left turn right now that says Monday through Friday, no left turn from 3 p.m. to 6. So we are good. It is Sunday, no problem at all. It actually handled that really well. I probably would have ended up making a U-turn because I wouldn't have even noticed the sign, or wouldn't have noticed the times on the sign. So we got a speed hump. You can see the car slow down for it. Very nicely done. I hope we can even get to where we're going. I've never been back here before. I assume this is open to the public. Got another speed hump we're coming up on. Perfectly handled. And it kind of looks like this destination is somebody's house, so that's a little bit awkward. Oh, wow, we got some really harsh braking there. I have not experienced that yet. So let's go ahead and add another stop. We're gonna go back to Lucky and we're gonna pick something else because I'm really just sitting in the middle of the road right now. I wanna pick something that has a low amount of miles. Virginia Living Museum, let's give that a shot. Start FSD. And let's see if it'll go on its own. Right now it's saying object and path detected. I might have to give it the pedal of encouragement. I did have to do that earlier. So I find that interesting because FSD pulled us over to here, so I'm surprised that it doesn't know that the path is clear to go. So I'm going to give it a couple more seconds. If it doesn't go, I'm going to go ahead and give it a pedal tap. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to go on its own. So that's one intervention. So all I had to do was give it a light tap of the pedal, but there was no reason why it shouldn't have been able to go on its own there. That's definitely a true intervention. So it looks like we're about 2.2 miles from the next destination. Let's see what the path looks like. Okay, got a few turns in there. Interesting parking lot we're going to be going to. So yeah, that was kind of not a very good end to that first one. I mean, it almost felt like an automatic, like it engaged ABS when it came to that stop. It really came to a hard stop there. And then it did not want to go when we re-engaged. So something just happened that I want to point out. This is one of the things that's going to be in the other video too, but attention monitoring when you have on sunglasses is really hit or miss right now. I would say it's more miss than it is hit. It probably works about 30% of the time, but if there's any sunlight coming into the car, it will go back to steering wheel nag, which is really annoying. I didn't really realize how much I didn't miss that. But on another topic, I can't even see right now. The sun is so bright in my eyes, and that's been the #1 complaint I've seen from pretty much everybody with version 13 is anytime the sun is directly in the cameras, it just disengages or it gives them the red hands and tells them to take over. I have not had that happen one time, and I have been driving around with the sun glaring into the camera all day long. And I'm wondering if maybe it has to do with like the condition of your windshield. And I think I mentioned this in the first impressions video, but I tend to keep my windshield perfectly clean all the time, mainly for filming videos. I can't stand when there's stuff all over the windshield. But like I said, I keep my windshield really clean and I have not had an issue at all. I don't know if it's maybe something to do with when there's streaking or whatever, how the sun comes through the glass into the camera. Or maybe this is a relatively new car. Maybe after a little while, some film or whatever builds up inside the windshield under the camera cover and causes a problem. I've seen people take this cover off before and have to clean up underneath there, so maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know, but I do find it weird because some of the other people whose videos I've watched, it's been like shout out to Robo Rides, really cool videos he's been putting out. I've been enjoying watching his stuff. I was watching one of his New York City videos the other day, and I think he had to engage or disengage 4 or 5 times because of the sun in the camera. Now, given it was really bright going into his cameras, but I mean, the sun is the sun, and it was pointed straight at me here a minute ago, and pretty much all day, and I really haven't had an issue. So anyway, enough about that. I do find it interesting, though. Ever since we got it going again from having to press the pedal at the beginning of this destination, everything's feeling really good. No complaints whatsoever. So with this other video I'm putting out, I am going to talk about any of the little quirks or really bad things that I've noticed with it, which there have been a couple. I have had a couple, 3 or 4 safety critical disengagements already, which I find interesting because I wasn't seeing a whole lot of talk about safety critical stuff on X, but I've had a few that I'll discuss in that video. So I was scrolling through X right before I edited this video, and I saw that not only has the rollout of this version been paused, but anybody who had the update in their app that had not installed it on their car yet has actually had it pulled. And while this is an extremely impressive version, based on some of the safety critical disengagements that I've had, I think I understand why. But on a separate note, forgive me for totally losing my train of thought in the middle of filming this video. You'll see what I mean here in a second. Oh man, I don't remember where I was going with that. Lost my train of thought. Anyway, everything's going pretty good since that last engagement. So we're coming up to our next parking lot here pretty soon. Got about half a mile. I think this is a pretty interesting entrance. I assume we can get back here. Hopefully, I have done it in the past where I've picked destinations that are like gated off and closed or whatever on the weekend. So hopefully that's not the case here. All right, looks like we're turning right. Here we go. I'm getting steering wheel nag again because I don't know why. There's not even really sun aiming into the car right now to mess with the attention monitoring, but man, very confident coming through here. Like, this is one area before where I think, I haven't ever been through here before, but I think it would really have hesitated coming through here. But I mean, we are carrying good speed. We made that right-hand curve without any hesitation. The car just feels like I can go and I know what I'm doing and I'm not even worried about what's around the corner, in a good way. So let's see what we get here. All right, it went the right way because this was one way. We could only go to the right. Let's see if it decides to park anywhere. So the pin looks like it's a little bit, the navigation pin looks like it's a little bit closer to the front of the building. But it does kind of feel like it's scanning around for a spot. I bet it's just going to stop in front of the building though, unfortunately. There's kind of a decent spot to pull over to the right up here, so let's see what it does. Yep, and that's what it's going to choose to do. And we're in park. So let's pick one more destination. We'll see how it goes. So far, we've got one intervention, which was just a pedal tap to get it going after the first destination. So for this next one, we're going to pick, let's see here, Fort Fun Park. That's a pretty straight destination. Let me see if I can pick anything else. Alright, whatever. We'll do the Fort Fun Park. So we'll go ahead and engage. So far, I haven't had any luck getting it to park. Now this time when we engaged, well, don't let me speak too soon. So this time it went on its own. I didn't have to do anything there. And we'll see how it does getting out of the parking lot. I imagine it's going to do just fine. The parking lot performance is really good. And just really smooth steering wheel movements. Really, like, hard to find complaints in parking lots right now. If anything, sometimes it's a little bit hesitant around people, but that's pretty much the norm on any new version that comes out, especially one this significant. Like when we went from version 12.3 to version 12.5, there was like a lot of hesitancy in it when it got around people, and that got better as more version 12.5 builds went out. But so I expect to kind of see the same thing here. So very nice. It did follow the flow of this traffic circle. I was kind of worried it was going to cut over there to the left and take a shortcut through, but it went all the way around just like it should. I can't lie to you, I probably would have gone left there because I noticed it at the last second. I probably wouldn't have handled that as well. But then again, I also really wasn't looking at it because I'm not driving. Okay, so we're pulling out now. Very nicely done. And looks like we're going to be turning right onto Jefferson Avenue. So we might have to do a little bit of merging here. So some of the biggest improvements I'm noticing so far, speed control is so much better. Now there are some weird little quirks to the speed control that I'll talk about here in a second, but overall it is much better. It actually goes the speed limit, which is like, if you've watched my other videos on version 12, specifically version 12.5, it just drove me nuts that it would not go the speed limit. In like a 45-mile-an-hour road, it would do 38. Sometimes in 55, on a 55-mile-an-hour road, it would be doing like 40. Just unacceptably slow and blocking traffic. And it was like, might not have been so annoying if I didn't have to watch the car and supervise it, but being that it's not unsupervised yet, I can't just like look down at my phone and ignore the fact that it's going slow. So that ended up leading to me having a lot of disengagements, not because of anything safety related, but just because I wanted it to go the speed limit. And somebody's probably thinking, well, why didn't you just press the pedal and make it speed up? I mean, yeah, you can do that, but it's gonna slow back down 30 seconds later, and it just kind of gets annoying. It's like a roller coaster of hitting the pedal, it slows back down, hit the pedal, it slows back down. So the speed control is pretty much solved, I would say. If anything, now it goes too fast sometimes, but you can see here, we're doing like perfect 46 miles an hour on a 45. No issue with that at all. There's no reason for us to be going any faster. We're not gonna get anywhere. The intersection in front of us is stopped. So, like I said, if anything, sometimes it goes a little bit too fast. I'd much rather have that than it go too slow. It's much easier for me to limit the car on speed downward than it is to make it go faster. Now, the only other thing I've noticed with speed control, it's a little bit quirky from time to time, is speed profiles. So they're supposed to be on city streets now, but they are about 90% of the time they're activated. There's this other 10% of time that they're not activated, and when they're not on is when the car behaves weird. And I've got a theory about this, and I'm going to talk about it in my good, bad, and ugly video. I'll just touch on it now lightly. I think it's running a different model when the speed profiles are off, and I think it has something to do with low speed, and it has something to do with enabling the capability to reverse, because it will not reverse when the speed profiles are on. So like I said, I've got some theories about the models and whatnot. I want to talk about it more in that other video, but that's just a little bit of a hint of where I'm thinking on this right now. But yeah, everything's going good so far. We just got the one intervention earlier on, and the one intervention, and then right before that intervention, when it had come to a stop, it really nailed the brakes, but I've already talked about that enough. So I want to point out something else that's a really big improvement now, and I didn't notice it during my first impressions video because there wasn't much traffic and there wasn't really a good scenario for me to realize it on. But one of my other biggest complaints that I've had since the beginning of version 12 is the car would always have a hard time passing other cars in lanes next to us on city streets. So like just a second ago, when we were splitting between the left and right lanes and there was all kinds of cars there, previous versions would have gotten stuck going the speed of those people next to us, and it would have been way too hesitant to just continue accelerating past all of them. That problem is finally gone, and I am so happy about it because it really drove me nuts. And it would even do it when it was trying to pass people. So it would, like, on a road like this, we might be in the center lane and try to go around somebody in the left lane, but then as soon as it got up next to them, it would just match their speed and get stuck. I haven't had it at all, and I've had a lot of those scenarios today where I know it would have done it on previous versions. So that's definitely a big plus and a huge improvement. Deceleration, I said it like 100 times in the first impressions video. It is so good. The deceleration is just incredibly smooth now. I really don't believe that I could decelerate any smoother than it, other than at the end of that first destination where it, for some reason, slammed the brakes. So we're about 5 minutes from our final destination. Everything feels really good so far. We're definitely getting into robotaxi territory. Now, we're not quite there. This is a huge leap forward from version 12. There's no doubt about it, but there is still quite a few things that need to be addressed. I don't think it's going to be any problem. All of these problems, for the most part, with the exception of one, that once again, I hate to keep saying in this other video, but just wait for the other video to come out. I got a lot to unpack in that one. Pretty much all the issues that I've noticed are very manageable. There's only one that I'm worried about. The rest of them are like little minor stuff. Some of them are regressions from version 12, but it's not like regressions to do with driving. So like if you watched AI Driver and Dirty Tesla, they talk a lot about, you know, they expected there to be driving regressions with version 13 because there pretty much always are when you come to a big new version like this. There's only one that I've noticed so far. The rest of them are like little things like the sunglasses attention monitoring. That's an easy problem for them to fix. They've had it fixed before. I'm sure it's just something minor that they need to work on now. The sun in the camera for, like I said, I'm not having that problem, but other people are. I think that's probably going to prove to be a pretty simple problem for them to fix. A lot of minor stuff like that. But this truck beside us right now is like doing everything that they can, and if they think I'm letting them back in, they're crazy. They've been swerving all over the place like a maniac for the last like 2 miles. Nope, they wanted to go left. I don't think they know what they're doing. All right, so we are coming up pretty close to our last destination now. Looks like we're about a mile away. I have no idea where we're going. Fort Fun Park, never heard of this before. Ooh, very nice job coming over into the center lane. I was expecting it to hug the right lane and then shift lanes over, but did a great job coming straight over. So in about 1/10 of a mile, we're going to be turning right. Once again, you can see my attention monitoring. As soon as the sun comes into the car, the attention monitoring with the sunglasses stops working. And I would take them off, but I don't really feel like being blinded right now, so I'll just deal with some steering wheel nag. Hopefully they'll get that fixed pretty soon. All right, we're making this right. Very nicely done, super smooth. Got a little rough patch in the road here. Wasn't as bad as I thought it was. So yeah, it looks like we're probably going to finish this whole video off with just one intervention. Definitely appreciate everybody watching. Once again, I say this pretty much every other video. I can't believe how fast the channel's growing. I think the last time I had mentioned it 2 videos ago, we were at 180 subscribers. We're up to somewhere around 220 right now. I really appreciate everybody who's subscribing, everybody who's liking the videos, everybody who's watching, everyone who's leaving feedback in the comments. This is actually pretty cool. Look at all these cannons and such. I guess a military museum. Yeah, just definitely appreciate everybody who's been watching. Definitely keep leaving me comments. Give me ideas down in the comments section. Give me tips and tricks. I saw somebody on my first impressions video say that they want timestamps. I'll start doing that. Never done it before. No real reason why I haven't, so I'll try to do that on this video. But yeah, appreciate everybody. Let's see what this thing does when we get to the end of this destination. Hopefully we'll get a park. I had one earlier where it actually parallel parked. Now it didn't do a perfect job, and it actually parked in the spot that was reserved for a police officer, but nonetheless, it tried, and if it had just backed up a little bit more, it would have been like a perfect parking job, and did it very confidently. All right, where the heck are we going? I don't even know if there's going to be parking spots at the end of this thing. I have definitely never been back here. Okay, no, there is a parking lot. And it's driving through here very confidently, all these tight roads and sun in the camera. Everything is feeling good. Looks like it's going to pull over here. Well, anyway, we finished out all 3. One intervention, one kind of rough break. But other than that, it did a great job. So anyway, I'm going to be working on that good, bad, and ugly video. Definitely keep an eye out for it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Give the video a like. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.